Hey guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to another video. So, as you guys are probably wondering, why is there some Indian music playing in the background? Just keep on watching because it does have something to do with this build. And actually you probably already know because I've titled the build and it's got a big thumbnail that labels it the Taj Mahal. So yeah, that is what we are doing today. We're doing the Taj Mahal. Now, I have actually, like when I first started doing these videos, I actually did want to build the Taj Mahal, but I was like, it's been done before, I've seen other people do it. Like I haven't seen it on YouTube though, I've only seen like on Google because a long time ago I had Googled Taj Mahal Sims just to see if anybody had ever done it, and people had, so I was like, oh okay, never mind, people have done it. But my sister, so I recently did a little, a miniature version of Venice, and I've never been to Venice. I completely don't actually know what Venice looks like. I don't know what the style of buildings look like. So I pretty much just did what I think it would look like. I have no idea how close I was to it, but I liked it nonetheless, and it did receive quite a few views, so I felt like other people enjoyed that video as well. And my sister had watched the Venice build and she had requested me to do the Taj Mahal. You know what? And my first reaction was like, oh, people have already done it. Like I said that to my sister, people have already done it, so I don't really want to do it. But I thought about it for a little while and was like, you know what? There was quite a good reaction to the little Venice video that I did, so I thought maybe I will do something else that people know quite well. And I decided, you know what? My sister wants Taj Mahal, I've wanted to do the Taj Mahal, and people seem to enjoy the little Venice, so you know what? Let's stuff it. Like, who cares if people have already done it? I'm going to do it as well, and I'm going to do it my take on it. So yeah, that's exactly what this video is, and this is purely just for creative purposes. There's nothing on the inside of the build at all because I have never been to the Taj Mahal. I don't know what it looks like on the inside. I don't even know if you can go on the inside. Like, can you go on the inside if you've been? Can you go on the inside? I've got no idea. I'm really sad I didn't get to go. I actually had the opportunity to go to India and I had my ticket purchased and everything like that because my sister was actually, I don't know if she'll mind me saying this in the video or not, but she was over there and we were going to go over there, like me and my parents were going to go over there. So we got to the airport. I was literally awake all day because the flight wasn't until 1 a.m. in the morning, and I had woken up early in the morning that morning because we were staying like a little, hotel inn type thing just for like 2 nights or something like that. And I thought in my head, I was like, because we had to leave by 10 a.m. in the morning, so we pretty much left early in the morning. I think we went and grabbed lunch or something like that, and then we just stayed at the airport literally the entire afternoon. I think we arrived at the airport around 5 p.m. Parked our car on one of those not overnight, what do you call them? Long-term parking things. And yeah, then we went to basically just hang out in the airport until 1 a.m. Where we had to check in at around 11 p.m. I think, or something like that. So we were checking in, and well, we got to the front and they're like, okay, we've got an issue with her passport, which is mine, obviously. She can't fly. I'm like, what? Really? And we were like, she just went to New Zealand a couple of months ago and came back on the same passport. What they said though is my passport was expiring in 3 months, and they said you can't fly into India if you've only got 3 months left on your passport. You've got to have 6 months or more. And see, we didn't know that because we don't travel often. We've only travelled between New Zealand and Australia, and because we're from New Zealand, it doesn't matter how many months you've got left on your passport, you can go back and forth, no problem at all. It's easy as that. But because this was a foreign country, they require more than 6 months on your passport, which is kind of upsetting because we had no clue at all. So they said she'd be fine and all because it was like a what do you call it? It was a stopover flight, so we're going to fly into Singapore, be there for a few hours, quite a few hours, and then on to India. And they said she'd be fine and all to get into Singapore. That's okay. They'd let her into Singapore, but when she reaches India, they will most likely deport her, and she will probably be banned from India for, you know, a certain amount of years, so she won't be able to come back. And because I was a New Zealand passport holder, they wouldn't have deported me back to Australia. They would have deported me back to New Zealand, which would have made it more difficult because I live in Australia. So I'd have to fly back to Aussie. It would have been okay though, because I do have family in New Zealand. I had family at the time who was living in Auckland who would have picked me up like straight away. We would have been like, hey, Caitlin's going to come back for this. And they'd be like, yep, that's all good, we'll pick her up. No matter what time it was, because it's my grandma, my auntie, so they would have picked me up. But, you know, it just makes it a lot harder because it'll be expensive to be deported back to New Zealand than to have to pay another flight to get to Australia again. And it's not cheap trying to get to where I used to live because we were so rural. Planes were so expensive. It was a little mining town, and for whatever reason, when you live in a mining town, they seem to think you're rich. So they charge you double as what they charge the, you know, other towns, which was ridiculous. And it's still like that actually in that town, which is kind of frustrating. But, you know, it's okay, we live in a better town now that's probably a lot cheaper. At least I think it would be a lot cheaper. But anyway, so I wasn't able to fly, which was really, really, really disappointing. And I never went to India in the end. I was supposed to go for, I think it was a week, or was it a week or 2 weeks? I can't exactly remember how long, but I was supposed to go, and you know, my parents went anyway. They went and visited the Golden Pavilion. Wait, is it called the Golden Pavilion? Or is that the one in, I think Golden Pavilion is the one in Japan, but there was one in India as well that's completely gold. And they didn't end up going to the Taj Mahal. My sister did, but my parents didn't want to travel the distance to the Taj Mahal because they were flying out the next day. It was quite a distance from Delhi to get there, I believe. But yeah, I didn't get to go, which is kind of sad. But that's all good. I mean, there are plenty of other opportunities. The only thing that sucked is the fact that I didn't get my money back. They're like, because we had no clue at all. Like, I guess you're supposed to do research before you go over to foreign countries, but like, of course, never have been traveling to foreign countries except for Australia and New Zealand. I guess we never thought about that, so wasn't able to do that, which was sad. And I really, really wanted to go to Singapore as well, because since we were going to be there for a while, we were going to get short little, because you were able to get temporary passes, which allows you to leave the airport to go and check out Singapore. And I was honestly looking forward to that part like so much, because I really want to go to Singapore. I know it's a beautiful country, and I was just so disappointed when I couldn't go, because my parents got to go and look around Singapore. They brought back photos and stuff, but it's just not the same as going yourself. Which reminds me, I have actually been looking online at tickets at the moment. I've found that tickets at the moment are quite cheap. Like, they're going for quite cheap to go to a foreign country. Like, when I was at work the other day, I have a person that I grew up with in primary school who's actually in Dubai at the moment. I've been seeing all of the photos on Facebook, and it just looks really, really pretty. Because I'm really into, of course I do a lot of building in The Sims, so I'm really into like architectural buildings, and like looking at the design of how buildings work and all of those things. Those really interest me, and I know Dubai has some amazing architecture that I just am dying to see. I want to go and see the Burj Khalifa, the Burj Al Arab. I want to go to, I don't know what they're called, but there's some other buildings there that I don't know the name of, but they're really, really awesome, and I just really, really want to see them. But you know, they've got some really cool mosque over there as well. Like, there's really beautiful mosque, and I'm pretty sure Taj Mahal is like a mosque as well, or is it a temple? I'm not entirely sure. I know it's got a whole backstory to it about like a dude. Like, I say dude because I don't know what he was. Like, was he a king or like a ruler or something like that? I'm not too sure, but he's like a really like wealthy person. Of course, you got to be wealthy to build something like the Taj Mahal. And his wife, I think she was dying or something like that, and pretty much she wanted him to build something to remember her by, and or you know, like be a memory of her or something. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this. This is only just what I've heard, and yeah, pretty much I think that's the story. And so he built the Taj Mahal for her or something like that. And my sister was telling me as well that there was supposed to be a black version of the Taj Mahal, I think, if I'm correct. I can't remember exactly, a little bit vague on the story there. But when it actually came to building this Taj Mahal, I had to do a lot of research, because the ones I had seen that was already done by Simmers, like they did them like in the earlier days of Sims 4 being created. So there wasn't too much content that they could use in the build itself. A lot of it was just quite plain, quite simple, because they had to work with what they've got. Now that we've got a lot more expansions and stuff packs and game packs and all that, there's a lot more to play around with, and I decided to do a lot of study when it came to what the Taj Mahal looked like. I watched a lot of VR videos, I googled lots and lots of images, saved them. I've got tons of them in my phone, which I can actually go ahead and delete now, but tons of them on my phone. I've got photos of the gardens as well, which I'm so disappointed because I could not fit the gardens in this build. The Taj Mahal took up all the space. I would have loved to get the garden in there. Like maybe if I was to do like a miniature version, I could have fit it, but I didn't, unfortunately. But yeah, I wanted to get as much detail as possible into this build as I could. Even like all the little details on the walls. I know they've got like scripts or something like that around the sides of the larger arches on the sides and things like that. So I used lights, to like wall lights, to kind of imitate that. They're not supposed to be lights, they're supposed to be like scripts. So just bear that in mind. If you're wondering why there's lights on the outside, that's what they're there for. And I've used these kind of things to try and imitate, moldings on the walls and stuff like that. Of course, this is not an exact replica. This is just as best as I could do with the items in The Sims. And, it's actually a lot easier than it seems when I was doing this, because, the Taj Mahal is the same on all four sides. So I pretty much built one of each room, if that makes sense, and I just copied and pasted it. Now that we've got that copy and paste tool in The Sims, I just did that. Of course, with copy and pasting, sometimes there can come with a little overlapping of certain objects. There are things that I had to go and clean up and delete, like this little section here. I'm deleting these because it's doubled up after me copying and pasting and things like that. But overall, it's a lot easier than it seems. If you're wanting to build one of these kinds of builds and you think it's impossible, it's really not. As long as you can do like one little section, you can copy and paste it for the rest of them, and you're pretty much sweet. Which reminds me, I actually didn't film the roofing for this, which I'm so ticked off by, because I thought I did. It was like one of those moments, like I know every YouTuber, like every Sims YouTuber, or YouTuber in general, can relate to this. When you're recording with OBS, sometimes you'll decide to take a break and you'll go away, or you'll need to go to the toilet, or you'll get hungry, so you walk away from the editing, or not from the editing, sorry, from recording your build, and you tend to stop the recording, just so there's not like a lot of blank, stuff in the video that you've got to edit out later. So you stop the recording, then when you come back, you start the recording again. So once I had completed this build, or at least the roofing of it, I decided to take another break, and I went to click stop on my recording, and I just had like blank face, like neutral blank face, because I saw like the little start record button said start recording and did not say stop, which means I hadn't recorded. And it was just like, I kind of stared at it for a moment. I was like, really? Did I seriously not record this? So unfortunately, there is no roof recording, and I would have re-recorded it for you guys, but it was such a hassle to do. It's not the fact that the roof was hard itself to do, it was the fact that it kept messing with the flooring. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just kept messing with like the roofing or whatever, and it was just a pain. So I just decided to make this decision not to re-record it. It is actually a lot simpler than it seems. You just need like a hexagon shaped room, or an octagon, whatever it is. I think it's an octagon. Hexagon is 8, isn't it? But yeah, so like you just need the octagon shaped room, and all you need pretty much is the fountain tool. Upsize the fountain tool using the move objects key. You can raise these fountains up, because they're the only thing that is dome-like in the game. So it's pretty much the only thing that you could use, I think, to create the, I guess, domes on top of the Taj Mahal. And yeah, it's just pretty much, it's just a lot of upsizing. As you can see with the roofing, I would have also copied and pasted. I did one section and copied and pasted the rest of them, pretty much just like I'm doing with these little towers. And there's actually a fact about these towers that I learned while I was watching the VR tours of the Taj Mahal. These towers were actually created so that they slightly tilt outwards, so they're not exactly straight. They tilt slightly outwards because apparently at the time when they built this, they knew that if an earthquake was to occur, these buildings would fall and crush the Taj Mahal. So they've built them slightly outwards, so that way, like tilting outwards, so that way if there's a Taj Mahal, not a Taj Mahal, if there's an earthquake, they'll tip and fall the opposite way, and the Taj Mahal will pretty much be protected, which is kind of a smart idea, because that way all they've got to rebuild is these towers, not the Taj Mahal itself. One day I do actually hope to go and visit, because it is one of the wonders of the world, and it's really pretty actually. Like, I know I've seen so many photos of the Taj Mahal, but I've never actually looked at it in as much detail as I did when I was trying to create this build, because I really did want to have as much detail as possible. I mean, of course not everything's correct. I mean, this Taj Mahal, because it's creative purpose only, it doesn't have any doors, because I felt like none of the doors fit, you know, nicely in the style of what it looks like and stuff, so I've used windows to imitate that and all of those kind of things. But yeah, I did actually, for this video, I don't actually have any screenshots. I've decided to do like a little video tour. I think the reason why I did that is because since all four sides are the same, I felt like you're only going to get like 1 or 2 screenshots. I thought, what better way than just to do like a little video tour of it, like not a complete video tour, just kind of circling it around the Taj Mahal, I guess. And because we couldn't fit the gardens in, I still wanted to use the same kind of trees. So yeah, anyway, here is the little video for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I had fun building it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will speak to you all next time. Bye!